So this is a quick little presentation on how to adjust your historic data for inflation. So what we'll be doing is we'll be bringing all of the data up to 2013 dollars. Now this is just a graph here of sort of the two things that are associated with inflation. The first is that inflation is actually the percent change in CPI. So if you hear that inflation was 5% or something, that means that the CPI, Consumer Price Index, went up 5% over last year. That means what you used to be able to buy for $1 now costs $1.05. And that's kind of the idea of the percent change. And the way that they do that is they keep track of this index, which is a market basket. What they do is they look at all of the consumer, and the Bureau of Labor Statistics look at all of the things that people buy and kind of develop a market basket for those things. And then they take the cost of those things and they normalize it to 100 at the 82.84 value. So in 82.84 you can see here 100 was right around here. So then that year, when you go up to the next year, 85, you can actually, it's like 106 or something, which means that the prices went up 6%. The next year, though, they went up some percentage, but it starts from 106, so it might go to 113. So you can see in this last year's, it's around 200. I think it's like 233 right now. So this is the way percent changes, and this is the Consumer Price Index. So you can see 5% is a pretty common level for inflation. And let's just look at exactly how to do these calculations. So what I've done here is I looked up, and this is the place I looked it up. It's at the Bureau of Labor Statistics, but for some reason I had a hard time downloading a nice, neat table. But this shows you that the annual average of the CPI. So you can see in 2013 it's 233, the previous year was 229, etc. And then way back a long time ago it was 913. And this is the percent change, which is also the rate of inflation. Now, how to use this to calculate, make adjustments in your historic numbers. So we're going to use the ratio that the CPI in time period X over the CPI in time period Y is equal to the earnings for time period X reflected in the earnings for time period Y. So what we're going to do is, like, for instance, you're going to look at the data you collected in 2009 earnings and change that into the 2013 dollars. So it's the earnings are kind of the same, but we want to inflate it up to the current dollar amount. So we say the earnings in 2013 dollars is equal to the earnings in 2009 dollars times the CPI in 2013 divided by the CPI in 2009. It's kind of a ratio of that. So let's take an example. Let's say your earnings that you took are $34,905. And we're going to look up the CPI in both of these data. So you can see I here have 214.5 and 233.5. So those are the two CPI values that you're going to be using. And in order to calculate the adjusted earnings value, you take the earnings in 2009 dollars and you multiply the ratio of 2013 to 2009 dollars, and you get the earnings in 2013 dollars, which is 37,996. So what that's saying is they made 34,905, but equivalently in today's dollars, it's the same as making 37,997. So what you'll be able to do is download this data and then make this adjustment to all the years. And I would definitely automate that in Excel, where you just download these values and you make the calculations automatic in Excel. I hope that helps.